So UTEP comes in, guys, and I think it's really interesting because the quarterback here is Malachi Nelson. They are 1-1. I checked out Bill Connolly's rankings, which S&P Plus, which is super interesting just because he does every freaking college football team, not Division One, every team. So I think 761 teams, and UTEP is basically the same team we played with San Jose State. I believe San Jose State was like 118 or something like that, and UTEP is like 121. So we're playing the same exact competition here. So I'd like to see an improvement. Because we're basically running it back with the same type of team. Now, are they going to be run and shoot, throw it 40 times? No, they're going to be a little bit more pro style, but super interesting what we're dealing with here. Gerald, what do you want to see from Texas versus UTEP? And do you think there could be any problems UTEP gives us that, we're kind of scratching our heads, kind of like San Jose State was able to expose the second cornerback position?
Yeah, I think what I want to see from San Jose State or from UTEP really for Texas is to figure out who your other wide receivers are, right? This needs to be a game where Texas figures out who's the other guy and how to get them involved, whether it's, getting quick stuff out to Wingo, whether it's getting more open, underneath, whoever that might be. As much and as good as Parker Livingston Stone, again, I got to figure out how he wants us to say his name. However good he has been, like his mentality is what makes him great. But Texas needs another option, right? Texas needs any good team. If you only got one guy at wide receiver that's able to play at that level, then you're probably not going to be very successful offensively. You really have to be able to come out and dominate from snap one, right? I want to see the offensive line blowing these dudes up, on the defensive line shutting folks down. I want Murad Watson to get another sack just because he eats a center alive. Like I want Texas, one, figure out who your number 2 wide receiver is, your other receiving threats, and I want Texas to just dominate in the trenches. Absolute domination.
No, 100% agree. Like, I think we only averaged like 5 yards, and even it might have been less, like 5 yards a carry versus San Jose State. We need to be averaging, like, versus teams like this, like 8 to 9 yards per carry. Every play should be very close to a first down, blowing guys off the ball. I also, again, I get Ryan Wingo involved early with some like reverses, screens, or something like that. If Sark talked about it today, so we'll see if he does it. I want to see a more vanilla game plan. Like, I just want to see us getting the ball to our playmakers early, often, and very easy. You don't have to draw up these shots down the field. Just give it to them, let them make plays in space, get their confidence up. I'd like to, obviously, we need to see more sacks, like 1 sack versus San Jose State. When they are a drop back team going to throw it 40 times, guess what? You should be getting more sacks than 1. Now, will they? I don't think UTEP's going to throw the ball 40 times. Maybe they do. I'd like to see us get more than 1 sack. Like, I'd like to see 3 to 4 sacks, because I do think that is the strength of this Texas team. We talked about it. One of my hot takes. I didn't think it was a hot take. I thought we'd have 5 guys with 5+ sacks. If we don't start eating sacks versus UTEP Sam Houston, that's not going to happen. Colin Simmons only has half a sack on the year, and he has, I believe Sark said it today, is the most penalized player in college football. There are 3 guys on our team right now that I think are doing a lot of thinking, and they're not just naturally playing football. It's Arch Manning, it's Ryan Wingo, and it's Colin Simmons. I think there's been a lot of pressure put on them, as there should be, because they're 2 or 3 very highly touted, very good football players that I think 2 of them are going to end up as first-round picks when they leave Texas. You just got to relax and start to play your game, because your game is good enough. You don't have to do better than that. Colin Simmons, just play what you did last year, and with the opportunities you have this year, you're going to fall into 12+ sacks, because that's how good of a football player you are. So stop pressing and just start going out and making the easy football plays, and that's what I want to see, number 1. Number 2, penalties have got to stop. I don't want to see any more than, I'll give you 1 a quarter. Can we go 4? Hell, I'll even take 5 at this point. 5 penalties. That's my number. 5 penalties or less versus a team like this. Like, guys, you on the offensive line, you don't have to hold. You're the better team. Just stick with your fundamentals. If you do that, you'll be fine. They don't have some big mauler up the middle. You'll be fine. They don't have some great pass rusher. You'll be fine. When the ball's in the air, cornerbacks, you don't need to hold. You'll be fine. There wasn't that much of that, but a couple times, like the Kobe Black one that he got mossed on, he could have been called for that because he did not turn his hand around and he was pushing the guy. So turn your head around, stay with your fundamentals. It is good enough versus teams like this. So that's what I want to say. I just want to see a clean brand of football.
Yeah, and I also think Texas needs to improve on third downs. That's another thing
Yeah.
that I want to see. And ultimately, I say improve on third downs, and I think that goes with your penalties, cleaning up the penalties. Texas had an average distance to go of 9.7 yards on third downs, which is absolutely ridiculous, and goes to holding. It goes to illegal chop blocks in the red zone that you don't need to have. All of those things play into the fact that Texas basically had the entire chains to go on average on third downs. And so if you're at it just the pendulum swings way in the direction of the defense when you have that much distance between you and the first down. So ultimately, like, your third down success happens on first and second down. So if you clean up those penalties, if you run the ball successfully, I don't need you to get a first down every first down, but if you can get 4 or 5 yards on a first down run or a quick pass on first downs, that puts you in better position on third down. So ultimately, like, this should be a flat track bully game. Texas should be able to lean on UTEP and could sleepwalk through this one and win 45-0. Like, that's how it should go.
No, 100%. And so you have to let lower teams know immediately you don't belong on the field with us. I agree. And we didn't do that versus San Jose State. Like, were we ever going to lose that game? Because it's San Jose State. But you allow them to hang in these games, and if they hit one of those passes down the sideline, they could have been up in the game and feeling themselves versus Texas. And you don't want lower teams like this to do that. So this is another thing, too. So we talked about getting off to a faster start. Both the games have been at, 11 Central Time, body time clockwise, or actual time in Austin when we played it down in Texas versus San Jose State. This game is at 4:15, 3:15 Central. That is not an excuse. So if that I can give that excuse. If you want the best case scenario, that's what that was. That's the best case scenario. We'll know after that this game if that's the case, because there's no excuse. You're playing, in my opinion, at the best window of a football player, what they want to play at. You don't have to wait long, and you don't have to get up early. It is 3:15 Central Time. You should be ready to go by kickoff. So I want this game to be 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, 31-3 at halftime, like something like that. If you're giving me that is perfectly fine. If we don't cover the spread, which is, I'm looking at it, it's 41.5, so a little bit more than San Jose State, I'm fine with that. But I want you to come out and establish dominance early versus a bad football team, because that's what this is. If you're not a top 100 football team, you should be getting blown off the field. You should be doing what Oregon did to Oklahoma State, which I believe Bill Connelly had Oklahoma State, which is crazy to think about, as the 80th best team in the country. But honestly, that's probably what they are. They're probably like the 70th to 80th best team in the country. And guess what Oregon did to them? They were up 21-0 with like 7 minutes left in the first quarter. So go in there and establish dominance and blow these teams out.
Yeah, I mean, and 6 touchdowns is always a lot to ask from covering a spread, but ultimately, like, I think Texas is 6 touchdowns better than UTEP. Yeah, I absolutely do think Texas is 6 touchdowns better than UTEP. Now, again, that's why you don't play games on paper, but ultimately, like, Texas should have a comfortable lead by the end of the first quarter. Like, this should be a snoozer for you. This should be a pad statting game, right? These are the games that when you have, like you mentioned, a double-digit sack season, that you have 3 sacks in a game, or you have that situation where you're padding your stats. These wide receivers should put up numbers. There's an opportunity for Texas to right the ship and to kind of get some of its swagger back. Like, you should send UTEP back to El Paso very, very sad.
No, I agree. So let's predict this game. Texas is giving 41.5 points. The over-under here is 50.5. Gerald, do you think Texas covers this week?
It's, again, 6. I said last week that 5 touchdowns was a lot. 6 touchdowns obviously is more than 5. I think I say yes. I think this week, just because of how Sark was talking today and what he was talking about, like how the attitude they're bringing into practice this week, like, he is going to be, like, in these dudes' faces. Like, if they do not respond to that, then they're not going to respond to anything. So I think this is one of those weeks where Texas should come out and really, like, kind of flex on them a little bit. So I think I wouldn't be shocked if Texas puts up, 40, 42, 48 points in this game, getting the offense going, getting Arch into some sort of rhythm. And I think the defense also has a little bit to prove as well. I think the defense, got a little bit of shots thrown their way because of what some of the things San Jose State was able to do. So I think I really do think that both these sides of the team are going to have some pride this week and put up a big number.
So what's your prediction? Are you going? What's the score?
The score, I think I'm going to go I'll go 45-3.
Okay, 45-3. So you're barely taking the cover here. You would take the under.
Barely
Because
take.
I want to start keeping track of these. I think we're 2-2 both on the season from
Yeah.
Ohio State and San Jose State. And I agree with you. I think we do cover this game. I'm going to go 56-10. I think we come out a little bit more ready to play. And I agree. Sark seemed like he's getting after him a little bit more this week. So I completely agree that we cover. I'm also taking the over. So that's the only thing we differ on here. So we're on the same page.